If you know, both here and in Kahondo last year, you very much know that I talked about Russia from first point to the last. So I don't have much to add, but most importantly, I have shared most of the things about my life with Russia and what she was to me and what she is even up to now. The production people will be able to bring that image and we share it and we remind ourselves. But for this memorial prayer this evening, I actually agreed with myself, my inner self, that I should tell you the untold stories. Especially those of you who have sacrificed to remain behind. Because these are some things that are never told, but they happen. And very briefly, I will take you through how my year has been without Russia. I chose this day specifically because Russia breathed her last on the 12th of June 2025 at 7 p.m. So I was very critical. Some people told me, why don't we push it? Friday is not good, but I said, God, what should I do? The Holy Spirit told me, proceed, because that is a very good day for you. So I'm happy that evening is challenging, but you have sacrificed to be with us. The 12th of June found us in Lubaga Hospital. It was that morning. I didn't expect that Russia would go, because we went to that hospital talking, discussing. Yes, she was a bit weak, but she was really strong. I invited most of the Lubaga Hospital people to join us. I don't know if anybody came. But if not, I know, Father, you worked at Lubaga for a long time. Father Chibi, you worked at Lubaga for a long time. You will take my thank you message to them. So Lubaga, we reached in Lubaga that early morning. It was around midday. And I had basically booked to see a liver specialist because I had talked to Russia's doctors in India. She had some challenges with eating, So the doctor told me, see a specialist, he can take some tests, you send them to me. So we went to Lubaga basically to just consult. But when I saw the liver specialist, he said, no, we need to do a scan, we need to do many things. So he said, this afternoon we are busy, the laboratories are busy, maybe you wait later evening, we do the scan, or you go back home, you come tomorrow early morning. So because Lucia and I were there, we decided to say, let's wait. And actually we said, why don't we book a room? So he said, if you can stay, we can do a scan later in the night around 8 p.m. So we decided to stay and book a room. They did the scan, and the following morning, which was 12th, we discussed the results with the doctor. The doctor actually looked at the results. He said, liver enzymes are a bit high, but this is better managed by a physician. Doctor called a physician in my midst. Let me call a physician, he will attend to you. Because this is not major, but managed by a physician. Although she has some traces of, since she has been a cancer patient, I prefer a physician to manage because this is better. So he called the physician, Dr. Matachigwa, John Bosco. And we discussed, we talked about the history of Russia, we discussed the reports, we discussed everything. But Dr. Matachigwa told me something that still concerns me up to now. After we reviewed all of the reports, he went to the computer and searched something, just a few minutes, and said, you man, you are a record man. Stage 4 cancer patients, survival rate is not even 1%. That thing hit me hard. But for me, who was a very strong passionate, I actually told him, I took it later, I told him, by the way, doctor, me, I am happy to God that I'm even one of the 1%. So he was like, okay, let's handle. You know, doctors are very fast. Let's handle. We shall stabilize the enzymes. You'll go back in the evening. He opted to give us a sodium solution to stabilize her salt levels. Because said the salt levels are very low, let's stabilize them. After stabilizing them, the liver will be okay. The liver enzymes should stabilize. So they gave Lucia an infusion, hypertonic 3%. Of course, it delayed, but it came around 3 p.m. But as soon as that infusion ended, Lucia found a difficulty. She started complaining. You know, people who were there, I think a few people were there. Mrs. Rofana was there, Mrs. Asimo was there, you know, Agatha was there. She started complaining, you know, I'm not feeling easy, I'm feeling uneasy. So I went and I told the nurse, my patient is complaining. Please come and help. She's feeling hot, she's saying she's feeling hot. The nurse told me, the nurse called Lubaga Mariam. The nurse told me, no, that is expected. You just cover the patient. I'm telling you, and I told the stories. I didn't tell them last year because of several reasons. Cover the patient, will be okay. When she told me that, we actually went into the room, opened the windows because she was saying, I'm feeling hot, She told me, take me to the bathroom. Walked her to the bathroom. She eased herself. Then we came back. When we came back, she lay on the bed. But I realized she started sweating very fast. Sweat was covering over her head. So I talked to her, is everything okay? She said, I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling cold. My feet are cold. So I realized something was funny happening. I rushed and talked to the nurse. The nurse actually gave me a very bad attitude. She stayed on her phone and kept looking at me like this. I got my phone. I called Dr. Matachi. I said, doctor, you know, actually it was coming close to 5 because he had told me I will come back around 5 to see the progress. I told doctor, my patient is feeling uneasy. I need your help. I need your urgent help. He said, what has happened? He said, she's complaining. Something uneasy is happening. He said, okay, tell the nurses to take her sugar levels. I'm down, let me come. I went to the nurse. I said, the doctor has said that you come and do something. The nurse actually told me, Lubaga Mariam, I'm doing this publicly. She told me, if you have decided to talk to the doctor, wait for him. She actually accused me of reporting her to the doctor. These things are on record. She actually stayed there. I again got my phone. I called doctor 4 times. Doctor didn't pick my call. I went inside. I saw Lucia. She was struggling. By then, her heart, she had started to palpitate. But we talked. She actually told me, we talked a few things. I may not mention them here. But lastly, she told me, call the doctor. I'm feeling I'm losing all my energy. I rushed outside to see where the doctor has come. The doctor was nowhere. I think there was somebody who had come. He was calling me to come and visit here to the floors, the first floor. So I rushed outside to pick the person. But then by the time I came back, Lucia started to palpate. I think those who were inside there, it was very difficult. And I want you to be strong because for me, I live this story of care. When I saw Lucia starting to palpate, saliva coming out of her mouth. I rushed and told the nurse, see what is happening. That's when she actually rushed, and we pulled the hand, we took her into the room. And when she reached into the room, she saw that things were beyond. That's when they started running around, ringing the alarm bell, doing everything. The doctor had not come. That was around 4:47. I used my networks. I can tell you, no, I didn't say these things. I used my networks because I realized that I was being victimized. I called everybody I knew in the Catholic Church. My first call was to Mr. Girvaz Njanabo. He's our Lion's member. He's the head of the Laite of Kampala, because he knew people at Lubaga. I told him, Dr. Girvaz, I have trouble. My patient is doing badly. Lucia is doing badly. Good enough for your friends. I am in Lubaga. I need help. Doctors are not attending to me. Girvaz told me, I know Dr. Mutachigwa there. He's the one I know, the one I was talked to. Is he there? I said, Dr. Mutachigwa is the one attending to me. I said, let me call him. He came back like after a few minutes. He told me, I have called him. He's not picking, but let me try to get somebody else. I called Dr. Kasawa. He works in the Catholic Medical Bureau. He's the assistant executive director. I gave him a call. Dr. Kasawa told me, I know the ED. Let me call him. Let me call him. They help you. The first doctor to come to respond to the alarm bell was Dr. Beatrice. She came, the nurses were struggling, they didn't know what was happening, everybody was running around. The doctor also did not know what they had administered, so she was asking, which medicine have you put, what has happened? Let's do CPR. He started pumping, doing CPR on the patient. Dr. Mutachigwa was nowhere. I called Father Fred Singire. He works in the Catholic Secretariat. I called him, Father, I need help. He said, I know, sister, let me call, they help you. Nobody. And just in those few minutes, Girvaz Njanabo called me back. He said, get me any doctor who is there. I talked to him. So I rushed outside. And when I reached outside, I found Dr. Mutachigwa in the corridor. I told him, Mr. Nginjano wants to talk to you. So he picked the call. He told him all the things that he told him, which I know were negative because I have them on record. And he returned to me the phone. He stayed in the corridor. I rushed back inside. People realized that it was a cardiac arrest, and they started doing CPR. We had long seen the signs of a cardiac arrest, but they did not respond. At around 5:30, the doctor was doing CPR. They actually recovered the heart rate. Said, no, we have recovered, the heart rate is back. Let's rush to the ICU. Said, call the doctor of the ICU, we go. The doctor of the ICU was not there. I was in the specialized hospital of Lubaga, Bishop Cyprian Specialized Center. I expected to have a specialist because, they had told me, you go to the old hospital, there is fair, but here is a bit expensive, stay around. I said, let me stay in the specialized hospital. I moved. When he returned to me the phone, I moved, I saw things were being tough. I actually again called Girvaz Njanabo. He told me, give me Mutachigwa. I think I need to talk to him. I rushed again outside. I phoned Mutachigwa. He was starting with somebody in the corridor. And they told me, you come down. Your patient is a cancer patient. We have to first monitor. They did not even enter the room. They stayed outside. I moved. I moved. When it clocked 7, Dr. Bito restored me, we cannot go further. We have lost the battle. These sisters you saw here, they had just come to visit me. They were actually there on the last hour, and Angel, you came on that hour. So they declared Lucia dead. They removed their machines. I saw the body. I kissed my wife. But I was hurt. But something came into me, into my head. So said, Davis, you have looked after your wife. Take courage. Dr. Mutachigwa entered the room at that moment. And he said, you know, Davis, we have done what we could. Go home. Go home. The rest leave it for us. That's his language. I felt something right in my head, but I think the Spirit told me, you know, calm down, take courage. They took the body to the mortuary. You came. Me, I still remember you came at that time when the body was getting out of the room. The doctor said, something has happened. Something weird has happened. I cannot know which one it is. We went. But the strange thing that really happened is that I composed myself. We took the body. We went for burial. I want to thank all of you who came out here, who came to Kahondo to bury. I consulted my mind and told me all of these things. And I think there was a reason why. We went to Kahondo, we did our burial, we finished. 15th of June. I came back on the 1st of July, after 2 weeks. I went to Lubaga. I wanted to go and process the death certificate. So I went into the records. They told me, no, yes, you will get the certificate, but first go look for your doctor who attended to you. He should sign on your certificate, then you bring it here. We give you the official one. So I left the old hospital. I went into the specialty hospital to look for Dr. Mutachika to sign for me on the notification of death. He had some people in his room. So I waited for like a few minutes. So I entered. Dr. Mutachika saw my face. He held my eyes for like 2 minutes. He looked at me, looked at me, looked at me, and he said, I actually didn't know that many people know you. I thought you were a Protestant. I am telling you because I have record. I froze. I composed myself and I said, Doctor, would you have done different if you knew that I was not? He said, no, let's ignore. You know, cancer is like that. Let's go. He signed my form and I went. I took and I processed the certificate. But before I left, I told him, Doctor, I need some records. I need a medical report because I have to process these things. I have to, process many things as regards the law. So we really need a medical report. He said, okay, don't worry. First go take the medical certificate. You come back in the afternoon. You will find your report ready. I went, I got my death certificate. I was going to NIRA. I reached there. They told me first to do some things. So I called him again around 3 p.m. I said, Doctor, is my report ready? I'm coming back because it is also needed. He actually said, let me call you back. So he didn't call, I sent him a message. Should I come? He actually responded to me and he told me, actually, after consultations, we are not giving you any records. death certificate is enough. I'm telling you, I did not get even a laboratory test report from Lubaga for the night we spent there, for the tests that we had done. When he sent me that, these things are on record. I came back home. You know, that thing hit me hard because I remembered Mr. Bariho being a seminarian for 4 years, Mr. Bariho building the church, supporting the church. I think we started this church, I was the second vice chairperson building the committee of this church. We found it at the level, and we raised it to this level. Serving my diocese, then somebody says, hey, you were not treated well because you thought you were not a Catholic. It hit me very hard. I actually came home, I slept for 3 weeks. Most of you do not know, but I slept in that house for 3 weeks. Regret. At the end of the 3rd week, a voice came to me and told me, but Davis, what if you died in this bed? Who would get you out? Who would take care of these children? I woke up. I don't know, but I think it was an angel of God. I woke up and I sat on my dining table. I wrote a letter to Lubaga Hospital. That was around the 17th of July. I wrote a letter explaining to them. Actually, I told them I'm reporting negligence. I did not feel satisfied with the way my wife was treated and how I was treated in the hospital itself. I delivered the letter myself. I copied the Archbishop, I copied the Executive Director, I delivered the letter myself. I asked them 3 things. I told them, kindly give me the medical records of my wife. Number 2, I told them, you know, I was not satisfied how I was treated. I want to meet these doctors who will reconcile you because I am not mentally okay. Now, my prayers were there. My letter was delivered. Fortunately, after a few days, they wrote back to me. They did not answer my prayer. They only attached a few medical reports. They gave them to me. But remember, this is a serious hospital where you really have to first beg for reports of my patient. Surely. Why need first write? Some of you who have been to hospital, you know rights of a patient and the caretaker. That session ended, I got the reports. They did not respond to any other of my prayers. I actually followed up, reminder. I actually drove my vehicle because I had copied my letter to the chair of the board of the hospital. I drove my vehicle, I went to Kozi University and saw Professor, who is the chair of the board of Lubaga Hospital, Professor Chamanywa. We talked. I told him my dissatisfaction. He said, you know, I see in your letter you asked to conduct an audit on the death of your patient. We are going to do it and we shall give you results. But this is strange. He actually called the ED in my medicine, said, let me talk to him, we are going to do an audit. I did not receive any feedback. I I wrote an email back. I copied all of them. I said, kindly, if there is any update, give it to me. Up to now, the year has ended. I have not received any update from Lubaga. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is Mr. Bariho taking us back to these things? But I can tell you, this is how some people die. It is very painful for your loved one to die in your hands. Because you say died in my hands. But moreover, somebody who was fighting, who was leading campaigns, who was doing what? Lucia died lamenting, looking for a doctor's help. For me, that pained me so much because I had gone internationally, I had gone to India. I have seen what care, good care means. So it was very painful for me. So I can tell you that some of you might be in my shoes, but these stories are never told. It is very, very, very painful. Dr. Jacinta came here and told you that she has seen patients, stage 4 cancer patients who have survived for 20 years. I have also seen them. And for me, I was confident. Yes, see, I had a cancer, you knew we had struggled through many things, we were surviving. But there was the grace of God because even some doctors were wondering how has she made it. Every year I would go to India for medical checkup. But of course, her cancer story was a public thing. Everybody knew she had a cancer, but she was actually thriving and living. So there were errors made, there was negligence made, but there was also, I believe, some intention which is not yet clarified. But most of it all is that there was something called mistaken identity. I think I suffered on behalf of someone. These things happen in our institutions. So I'm saying this for you to know that we must do all things to fight evil. Evil is not done by thieves, it is not done by even professionals. But more so, I want to tell you that we are all human beings. We are prone to sin, we are prone to error. But it makes a very, very, very difficult time when you make an error, you are a professional, and you cannot correct your error. That's why I almost died. I almost died in my bed. Actually, see, I became a sacrifice. I became a victim of circumstances. Most of you would have found me dead in my bed, and you would have known, he has died because he lost a wife. I reconstructed myself, and I said, I have to take care of these children. Because most of you will ask me, right now, what is keeping you going? What is happening? But I will tell you, the biggest issue is that I prayed to God and I told him, give priority to me. And priority is myself and my family. The moment you start listening to what other people know, I can tell you that there are probably a few people who know this story. A few of you may know pieces because there are some people who live with some pieces. But for me, I have all record of that. hope Lubaga Hospital will be able to do for me justice and invite me. Because for me, that's what I want. I don't think the way Mariam responded to me as a nurse, she's fit to work in a hospital. I don't know if they have done any measure based on what I wrote. But my letter is still living. It is a living document. So I want you to be strong and know that these errors happen in hospitals. Going forward, I want to thank you very much. We have lived and we shall carry the story of Lucia forward. She died peaceful. For me, although she was lamenting for help, but I think she had survived the pain she had in 2022. For me, I blessed God for that. But also that I was able to talk her in harassed moments. So we have put forward a foundation, and going forward, the N.G.Bariho Cancer Care Foundation, she believed in many things, and we hope that we can continue to live those. Going forward, we shall continue the process of developing that foundation. That's why I actually put those envelopes for you, so that you know. Because I dedicated one day last week to check on cancer patients. I ran a charity drive requesting for most of your help. I actually was looking for 100 people. I managed to get like 30. The little money we got, I can tell you, those of you who went with me, there is a very big thing to do, very big effort to do for cancer, because literally everybody needs help. I went to the Cancer Institute. We had selected one patient who had been taken there in emergency, but I reached emergency, I found 8 patients, and everybody was breathing. But literally everybody requires help. As the doctor said, nobody these days knows the cause of cancer. The risks are many. Some are even unavoidable. But what do? Do your part. Do what you can. For us, we shall focus majorly on education. We shall focus on research. These efforts of raising money, we do them because there is no inevitable way, but they are not sustainable. The N.G.Bariho Cancer Care will focus on telling you, please, if you can, prevention is better. Cancer will eat your pockets. Cancer will eat your body, because there are still people who will see you as a customer, even when you are sick. I have a friend of mine, he's a rich person, but he sold his 3 buildings to go for treatment. Cancer can make you come back poor to the ground. So to avoid all those things, my friends, do what you can. You see, I was dancing here, cooking food, doing what? Most of those things, by the way, supported Lucia to live the years she lived. A few of you who visited me at home in 2022, you knew that Lucia would go. So I want to thank you very much for those of you who have come for this memorial service, but also to listen to my story. It's painful. But I prayed to God. I said, God, you give me my wife. For these 4 years, we lived for 15 years together. We did amazing things together. Life must continue. I hope one or two takes a lesson from my story. But for the patients who are here, the survivors who are here, my advice is that you need to build a relationship with your doctor. build a very good relationship with your doctor so that you can actually have, let us say, better support. I want to thank all of you who have come. I want to thank all of you who have been there for us. I want to thank our parents of Lucia, my parents, my mom is here for always supporting me and being around. So I am a survivor. I can tell you that I'm also a survivor. I almost died. Would not have known this. So now that I have finished 1 year, you can also call me a survivor. Yes. You know, Dr. Jacinta will tell you that patients who survive for 1 year, majority of the patients die within 1 year when they are diagnosed with cancer. So if you survive for 1 year and you go beyond, you have some hope. Many things happen, of course. Pressure, fear takes people. So I am also a survivor. And I thank God for that. And I hope I am going to thrive and we live a better life. I've taken your time, but take my story as a living testimony. That even when you go to the hospital, you need the grace of God to carry through and talk to the doctor. Make sure that you get the right attention. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you for being with us. I hope we continue to share, educate, and learn together. God bless you. For me, that's what I talk to my God. And I agreed with myself that I share with you this testimony so that you understand what we are to live.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bariho. Quick announcement, the owner of vehicle number UBA 667K would kindly go to the parking